Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So boy howdy, is today's video going to be a dumpster fire. So over the past 2 days, I've been dealing with a wave of aggression from multiple artists on Twitter who have been attempting to cancel and slander me. These are all big artists with 50 to 100,000 followers each. Now, what are they trying to cancel me for? Well, they are trying to cancel me because I defend what they claim is problematic art. Now, perhaps unsurprisingly at this point, as we'll see, every single one of these artists has this exact type of artwork in their publicly available Twitter likes, and the mental gymnastics they'll use to defend this is definitely worth looking at. And also on top of that, during this whole situation, one of the artists in question would also have an old thread about them rehashed, a thread that alleges that they have been sending unsolicited nudes to multiple women. A situation that would have never have happened if they hadn't gone after me on Twitter. Now, originally I was thinking maybe I wouldn't do this. I've had enough of a headache the last day or two because my notifications have been blown up by this stuff. But you know what? If you're going to annoy me like that, I'm going to farm you for content. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So it all began with this video I made 2 days ago. In that video, I was talking about the fact that some One Piece manga spoilers were alleging that one of the characters from that series is now confirmed to be 12 years old. And this caused a lot of infighting amongst some tourists in the One Piece community because they normally cancel and attack others for the ages of fictional characters. And now they're realizing that they've been simping for and sexualizing an underage character this whole time without actually knowing about it. And in that video, I gave an example of one of these tweets about this situation from an artist named Sai. I believe that's how you pronounce their name. So their quote said, "Oda waiting till the very end of the manga to add weird pedo stuff is one of the most insane self-sabotage things I've ever seen. Of course, this is the manga industry, so obviously no one will care." And of course, that is insinuating that Oda, the creator of One Piece, is a predator. And in the video, I did your classic, your likes are public. You can check out my video for the examples I provided there. But in their likes, they had everything from furry to lolicon and also underage characters being sexualized. And after the video went out, apparently this artist would notice this video and would make a comment. And also to clarify, they changed their profile picture like halfway through this timeline, so in case you're confused. But they say, finally get mentioned by a large YouTuber, and it's a guy with a lolly avatar mad that I don't like sexualized art of children. Which of course is a gross misrepresentation of what happened. And I would clarify this in my quote retweet. I said, "You called Oda a pedo for his underage characters. I just pointed out that your likes are public and filled with sexualized underage characters in lolicon. These screenshots are from your 2 accounts. My simple point is that you're a hypocrite." And that's really all there is to it. I spent a very small portion of the video talking about this. It's a classic your likes are public moment. And unfortunately for them, they made the mistake of rehashing this argument on Twitter. And initially, they were very smug in their response. And they were saying, after I quote retweeted them, they continued to double down, insinuating that I'm a pedo and my fans are pedos. And they would say this and gained a ton of new followers today. Welcome, new folks. Like, they're basically saying, like, I'm winning this situation. Unfortunately, this smug attitude towards this would evaporate very, very quickly. Like, they went through the 5 stages of grief real fast because people started questioning some of their actions. And like this user saying, "You also had images of underage characters in your likes. That's hypocritical." Where Sai would respond saying, "Now, were they lollies or were they characters you wouldn't know were underage unless you went on a wiki page?" Number one, a lot of the characters they were referring to or that were in their likes are very popular characters that everyone knows about. And here's the thing. If you're going to create this standard where you're treating drawings like real people when it comes to age, it's going to play out just like it does in real life. It's your responsibility to know the age of whatever's being sexualized. You created that standard for yourself. So this idea or this notion that basically like I don't have to check a wiki page, that's not going to cut it. That excuse doesn't fly when you create this standard for other people. You have to follow it yourself. And this whole idea of like, Your Honor, I didn't know how old they are is not a valid excuse when you have this standard. But going further, more people would show other characters in their likes. where Sai would respond saying, "Notice how every single character here is drawn with extremely adult proportions." And as the user down here would reply, doesn't change their age, which is very valid because this defense of having adult proportions excuses that they're underage. That's a defense that real life predators use by saying that a child actually has adult features, therefore they're not actually a child. No, that is not the case. That doesn't justify this. And again, you don't like that. Well, that's the standard you created for other people when you were slandering and attacking them. And tell me, does this look like an adult character with adult features? In this case, you liked a picture of Megami, who everyone knows is a lolly character and also underage, and is also very petite, and this is about as graphic as it gets. And this was something I didn't even see when I made my initial commentary from the video from a few days ago. I didn't even notice some of these likes, because I didn't go very far. I got the picture quickly, but people kept digging, and they found stuff like this that is pretty much indefensible if you're an anti, right? There's no way this ends up in your likes without you being a massive hypocrite. And of course, the mental gymnastics continues where Sai would say, their age doesn't matter as these are aged up versions. And then it goes on to say multiple things that are just not true, by the way. Like Spider-Gwen is 15, I believe. And also the robot Jenny is like 5 years old, but it's a robot. But those points besides, their defense here is literally age is just a number. That is their defense to wiggling out of this and somehow justify liking these things despite their stance and calling other people pedos for liking underage characters. It's so insane. However, things would get worse, okay? So they would private their account. They're trying to hide from all this. But we really didn't get to the real spicy meatball in the situation. And a lot of people started digging up on this artist. And this user and many others found some archived threads from back in 2021. Now let's take a look at these archived threads. Well, the evidence you can see here, I went through it myself, and you can see this thread from a now suspended account, hence why it's archived. It says, please be alert for an artist named Synapse. They sent unsolicited nudes to people who had no interest in this, continuous sexual messages, even though I try to change the topic multiple times. When giving an aggressive hint, he blamed me for his unwanted sexual advances. And it gets even worse because, as you see, there's actual photo evidence of these DMs, but other people would step forward in response to this thread and share similar stories where they were also sent unsolicited sexual messages and nudes from this artist. And yeah, not a very good look. This is what they're alleging, but we don't really have to just believe the thread. You can believe Synapse himself because he more or less confirms this. This was a tweet made in the following days after this thread was released saying, will not be commenting on any post about drama. Y'all know I'm flawed. I don't gotta explain stuff. My actions speak for themselves. So they're clearly, in my opinion, acknowledging that these things happened. But down here, this is the crazy part. They say, however, I will not be lectured on not taking a hint by someone whose entire career is based on leading on depressed, lonely men like me for money. The CIA could not have tortured this tweet out of me, okay? So he's basically admitting he's a lonely dude, and then he's victim blaming the people he was sending these unsolicited nudes to. Absolutely insane. And the reason this thread is even being brought up after these 2 years since it happened is because this guy couldn't stop talking and slandering people on Twitter. If my video came out and he just carried on with his life, nobody would have found this thread. It would have been buried in the archive forever. But because this guy impulsively had to go out there and continue to slander people and to double and triple down and try to revel in the attention, this thread popped up again. And now it's relevant news here in 2023. But anyway, another artist would then throw their hat into the fray. This artist with around 50 or 60,000 followers on Twitter would quote me stating, Rev is so funny, this dude is just Keemstar for otaku Twitter, yet he acts like some internet tough guy for beefing with artists or whatever on social media. Now, I never claimed to be some internet tough guy, and if you're calling me that, you're probably projecting. But keep in mind who they're defending. They're coming to the defense of Sai, who's not only a hypocrite by their own standards, but those standards would call someone a predator based on the fictional content in their Twitter likes. And this is, let me just clarify too, I'm not just beefing with someone in this situation. I am pointing out that this person is a hypocrite. And it's very obvious that based on their own likes, they would fail their own standards. And again, let's apply this standard that they're creating to this artist coming to Psy's defense. Here's their likes. Now, I have to censor it like very heavily. If you want to see the actual uncensored version, you can see it in the media tab on my Twitter account. But there is a whole wall right here of lolly characters being sexualized. And some of them are just your traditional lolly characters or underage characters as well. But there's other ones in here that they think is some sort of a loophole where it's a very clear lolly character, but then it has comedically large breasts, as if that's some sort of a little gotcha, right? Like, oh, it's not a lolly. That doesn't change the fact that it's a lolly character. And again, this side person you're defending would be saying pretty awful things about you if they applied their standard to you. And of course, they'll go on a series of tweets, all of them now deleted, where we have this one saying, last thing I'm going to say about Rev. I sent him direct proof that Psy got doxxed after he started beef with him, and little man has been real quiet since then. And of course, this tweet is ironically deleted. So, number one, there was this claim that the artist Psy got doxxed during the situation. And during this whole thing, this artist would be the one who would show screenshots of this happening, and they would all be deleted. And the reason they were deleted is because I think it's because people started pointing out some flaws in the timeline of events and that these screenshots didn't seem to make a lot of sense. Besides the fact that this account that posted this alleged stuff was a burner account that wasn't following me, it's not a part of my community, and anyone in my community knows that doxing someone is wrong. In fact, I don't support harassing anyone. Nobody in this video should be targeted for harassment. I am not telling anyone to harass these people. In fact, I'm telling them to do the exact opposite. If you're in my community, you should just avoid these people. And if you are following them, take the information I'm giving you and then decide whether or not you want to keep supporting artists like this who are hypocrites and attacking others over fictional content. But this whole idea that this happened is strange because as soon as people started pointing some flaws out, all of that evidence was deleted. And I don't want to show any of it because if it is true, I don't want to in any way spread that message. But these things seem a bit odd, and the fact that it's Psy stating these things, who has been proven to be pretty untrustworthy, that also leaves some doubt. This whole idea, again, calling me a little man and all these things, again, I guarantee this is projection. You don't know anything about me. And the whole thing, like, you're being real quiet. Guys, I went to bed. Like, I'm not terminally online watching my Twitter trying to get updates every second. But I know someone else who was definitely online, and it was this artist. So let's continue. Another deleted tweet saying, Lolicon Twitter is so funny. They expect you to enter a 500-hour debate with them, and just for saying you don't like drawings of toddlers getting effed or whatever, it's truly hilarious. Again, another gross misrepresentation of what's happening in the situation. I pointed out that your friend is a hypocrite under their own standards. Very basic argument. And a standard that they're pushing that you would fail under. Like, I don't understand what you're trying to prove here. And you're the one who went on a tangent for hours on end arguing with everyone. And here's another one saying, I'm 800% sure that I've liked some poontang of underage characters because I don't know every single one from an IP, and I'm not going to check that. I'm just scrolling, bro. Your Honor, I was just scrolling, bro. Again, if you're going to attack and slander people and support narratives that people like Psy are encouraging, what does this make you under that standard? You're admitting to it publicly. Here's another deleted tweet saying, unsurprisingly, my point was proven. I have been swarmed by locusts trying to get their sting in. Like any of this stuff matters. Go hit up the Battle Pass Fortnite style. So none of this matters? Then why are you tweeting about it? Why did you make like several dozen tweets about the situation and support an account that was slandering people? Why do you really not care? It's like this idea of like, I'm not owned, I don't care, I'm so indifferent, while you're making dozens of tweets. And honestly, also, this does matter. When you're slandering and harassing people online over fictional content, it does matter. And like people like me have every right to point it out or to defend ourselves, okay? And Following this, we get our third guest in today's video. Another artist with over 50,000 followers on Twitter would join the fray, and they would quote me saying, "Counter argument, stop being a pedophile." As you can see the number of quotes versus likes, this did not go very well. This was not the comment section and the response they were expecting with this one. And as per usual, I could pretty much end the video here. You know how this is going to end, right? You know what's going to happen next. Of course, we look at their public Twitter likes. It's filled with sexualized underage characters from My Hero Academia, as well as a goblin version of Rebecca from Cyberpunk, who is a lolly. And I asked this person very plainly, can you please stop watering down the term pedophilia to drawing something that actually benefits real predators, and also stop slandering people over drawings when you have that same type of content in your likes? And they would reply, not directly to me, but to themselves, saying, I seem to have attracted the pedophiles, because this is another user on Twitter where everyone who they don't like must be some sort of a predator. And again, immediately doing exactly what I told them not to, and continue to water down the term to something that it's not. And then I would reply to them with a very simple point saying, these are the people you're defending. And I'm just censoring this for the sake of it. It's the screenshots from earlier in the video of the two other artists with lolicon in their likes. You're defending them. You're friends with them. Why aren't you calling them out? Why are you focused on me? Why are you making separate standards for your friends? And also, by your standard and the ones that you're supporting, they would be predators. So why are you defending what you would consider predators? It all is just so disingenuous and stupid. And I want to end this video by saying, a lot of people have raised this point, not only in the last 2 days, but pretty much any time someone's angry about my defense of fictional content, they say something like, I ain't saying lolly is pedophilia, but it sure is weird. Yeah, it is weird. Like, that's totally valid. I will tell these people I am in no way angry because these people claim to not like lolicon. That's within their right. They're even within their right to say it's gross and all that stuff. But I just simply ask to not slander and call people pedophiles over drawings, especially when you're being a massive hypocrite about it. And these artists now have these public statements showing that they're antis. These things don't go away. And these likes that show that they're a hypocrite will not go away. So they have taken a stance, and for what reason? And now they're just hemorrhaging followers. None of these people benefited from the attention. The attention they got was negative, and people saw that and unfollowed them. Because I'll give you a hint, when it comes to artists who post anime art on Twitter, 99% of the people follow you for some anime titties. They don't care about your opinion, and they certainly do not want to see drama and you slandering other people over fictional content that you also make and consume, by the way. But that's going to do it for this video. I know it was a lot, so I appreciate you guys listening to my little rant here, but yeah, that's going to do it. Share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.